Hi guys, it's Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. What am I doing today? I am doing paid reviews. And I've got to tell you, man, I do love doing the paid reviews. I get a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment. What did I just put? I get a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment out of making these videos. So today, guys, I want to talk to you about this is a paid review. This is what is it? I fucked this one up, okay? I fucked this one up. This was the last. I printed out my run sheets. This is what I do, guys. I do a run sheet. All the payments come in. I do a run sheet. Then I print the form out. And then I tell my customer that I've actually, your video is in production. I assign it a number. This one here is JU88. JU88. And I reference it to the payment and I put a tick to say that I've told the customer. Let me just double check this. Fuck. My headphones came off. I tell the customer that I've sent the video. Yes, I have. This one here, I've told him it's JU88. There we go. 88. Lucky number for some, not so lucky for Archie. So, no, well, it's not a terrible number. Okie dokie, let's jump in there. So before we start that, let's do a quick wristwatch check. And I'm wearing a Rolex today. I'm wearing my Explorer 2. Just going to give you a loom shot. There we go. Loom. I'm wearing my Explorer 2. I wanted to change. I actually went into the bank safe and I dropped off my Reverso to Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co. Watch Tech is their service division to do a full service. And I also dropped off a lady's Rolex to fix a crown problem. He's very good. Ronnie's very good. Okay, let's jump in. This is for Eric. And it's, hi Archie, big fan of your channel and the no bullshit approach. I'm wiring you. He's wiring me $30 for a commentary on luxury quartz watches. My good mate Charles is a big quartz fan and is thinking about buying an oyster quartz and a quartz Aquaterra Seamaster. His dream is a quartz Patek. So what I'm wondering, if your honest view on quartz pieces from the luxury brands I mentioned. Thanks a lot and looking forward to hearing your commentary. So this is from Eric and it's for his friend Charles. That was a very cool thing to get a video made, commissioned a video for his friend. And I'll put a few links at the top here. Links. These are some of the quartz luxury pieces that I've owned there, because I've owned a few. So let's have a talk about what do I think. And this was always an interesting genre because there are so many quartz bargains out there, absolute bargains. They are, very cheap. To give you an idea, I've owned quite a few. What have I owned in quartz? Okay, firstly, there's the Omega Seamaster 300. That was from, I've owned a couple of them. They were made, they look almost identical to the automatic version, except the dials, you can see the tick, tick, tick of the second hand, and they're not chronometer certified because they're a quartz version. Or at least they think they're not. Yeah, because they don't certify the quartz versions. Very, very nice looking piece. I've had a few of those. I've also had, in my horological pursuits, it looks like RODENT 1. It wasn't the first to have an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak in modern times on YouTube. No, I've been there. Archie's been there. I had a beautiful two-tone steel and gold Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, 33 mil. It actually had papers. I remember it had papers, and it was from, what was it from? From 1996. Had papers. I remember that watch. It was a great watch. Beautiful watch. Two-tone. I got it polished because it wasn't terrible, but anyhow. And then what other pieces have I had in luxury? I've owned a few Pateks. Yes. I had a Patek from the 70s. Which was very ugly, sort of rectangular piece. And in more modern times, one of my favorite watches, I had a Patek Calatrava 3944, which is very similar to the it reminded me a lot of the 3919, except it didn't have the sub-seconds because it had the center second hand, had the date at 3. I owned it. I remember I bought it once, I sold it, and I bought it back. I actually pursued the guy. I wanted it back. And it's funny. Once I owned it again, I realized why I didn't want it. So I actually got out of it. I remember I sold it to Shonny from European Watch Gallery in Melbourne. Yeah, I sold it to him. I had another guy who was fucking around. He fucked around, and I ended up selling it to Shonny. Yeah, I didn't lose money, didn't make money. Okay, so what is my exposure and experience? And I got to tell you, it's kind of they're a bargain. They are a relative bargain, because in the day they would not have been much cheaper. They would have been the same price as the mechanical versions, in the day. And they also use a very high quality quartz movement. It's not just an off-the-shelf ETA. No. Oh, I've also owned some ladies. I had a ladies AP, couple of APs. I've had Pateks, ladies Pateks in quartz. AP. I never had a Vacheron. I've had quite a few. Chopard. What was that name? I've had a number of pieces there. Now I got to tell you, they represent relatively a bargain. However, and I'm saying this with all honesty because I thought they were the dream. It was the dream piece. They're undervalued and they were a bargain. They are a ticking time bomb. Okay, they are a ticking time bomb. I've also had Rolexes as Rolex Oyster Quartz, and I love it. I love the case with the integrated bracelet, just funky as fuck. But let me tell you this. Number one, in Rolex, I've never had Rolex. I've only owned, I think I had one, and I was brokering the deal. I didn't really have it in my possession as my watch. But I know people who've owned them, and if they need a service, they're fucking expensive. They change the module, and fuck does Rolex charge a fortune. Okay, they're running out of modules because they're not doing quartz anymore. The next problem is, the ones I did have, it's funny. I had this 70s Patek. Fuck, it was ugly. It was when quartz was so expensive, they even put it on the fucking dial. They put quartz on the dial. And this fucking watch, you wouldn't believe this, whenever I wore it, it's lost time. Whenever I put it on the shelf, just on the table, it fucking kept perfect time. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with it. I sent it off for an overhaul from a watchmaker. He said, sell the fucking thing, which is exactly what I did. I lumbered some other poor bastard with it. The other piece I had, which had a problem, was I had my two-tone Royal Oak. Now this is what happens. Okay, so what happened with it was okay, it was running fine, but you know, this was a piece from 1996, so this was a couple of years ago I owned it. It was just before the Archie 5 collection, so around 2010, so it's almost 10 years ago. I owned this piece, and the thread, how you screw the crown in, was fucked. And it came, I took it to I got it serviced by my watchmaker in Brisbane. And I also got it polished. I got it professionally polished through Watch Tech. They did a great job. Fuck, it looked beautiful. Then the crown wouldn't screw in. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll take it to the watchmaker who did the service. He said, it's fucked, Paul. I thought, oh, fuck. So what do I do? So I had a really good watchmaker in Sydney, okay? And he said to me, I can do a 3-month job. I said, what do you mean? He said, I can fix it so it works for 3 months. Then some other bastard will have to fix it again. I said, perfect. So that's exactly what I did with that one. I sold it on fucking eBay, as you do. Get rid of your shit. I make no bones about it. I'm not the best person to buy this stuff from, okay? I mean, look, I got it fixed. Flicked it because the problem is, it's not so much that it's expensive to fix it. The problem is Audemars Piguet won't sell the parts to anyone else. So Audemars Piguet would say it needs a complete overhaul, which, fuck you, they will fuck you. So, you know, I bought it really cheap, got it serviced and polished. It had papers but didn't have a box. I had to buy a box. I bought it cheap. By the time I factored all that in, I got my money back, basically. I sold the fucking thing. But to fix it properly, you'd have to send it to AP. They'd need a service and the part. It's not worth doing. It's not economically viable to do it. So I got to be honest with you. The best advice I can give you is stay the fuck away from them. If they get any sort of water seepage or damage, the circuit is fucked. How long does a circuit last? Well, that's a good question. Have any of you fuckers out there got XT computers or PCs from the 80s? Okay? How long is the life on these fucking things? See, that they were never meant, electronic goods were never meant to be fucking indestructible. You know, they eventually do conk out. And the problem is, these prestigious makers, they entered the quartz craze, and they did a very good job. They didn't, unfortunately, use a standard ETA movement, so we could just pull one off the shelf, put it in. No, they had a fucking proprietary movement, proprietary quartz movement. It's a fucking disaster. Fucking disaster. And I gotta tell you, all honesty, it's a fucking disaster. So the problem is, I've seen these for sale. People have sold a quartz watch and they say movement changed. It's now running a standard ETA. Well, that's kind of the horological equivalent of having a vintage Ferrari. The engine shit itself, so we've put in a General Motors V8. It's not quite the same. Even though the proper Ferrari motor is an even bigger bitch, we don't want it changed like that, okay? We don't want that done. So that is kind of sacrilege. So it's a really fucking difficult thing. What's my opinion on it? See, quartz came, a lot of these luxury makers abandoned it. Okay, it came so quickly, nearly killed the industry. But a lot of these makers now don't really offer a quartz offering for that same type of watch. Like Patek doesn't do quartz for men now. They did them in the 2000s. Yes, you could get a 3944 Calatrava. Yes, but they've stopped that model years ago. They still do quartz for ladies. Yes, they do. Yes. But it's always difficult. It's difficult because they don't have parts for them. The ladies' ones don't quite fit the men's movement from a bygone era. So they are very, very hard. So my best advice is Quartz. What do I think of Quartz luxury watches? I thought they were a bargain. Okay, I thought they were a bargain. I thought the theory was they technically could last indefinitely, but that's not the case. That's not the case. They can just fail like that. It's a electronic circuit board, you know, like a fucking XT from the 80s, a PC from the 80s. You know, it's just, there's no guarantee. Okay, there's no guarantee. So my honest feeling is that a lot of these makers have abandoned it. If they hadn't abandoned it, see, a lot of these companies, they should have said, what they should have done is, what they should have said was, no, we're not going to do that. So they should have had a legacy plan. They should have said, right, if these movements come in, we've now got a general consensus movement, which is now the fill-in for that. But they don't. They've abandoned the whole. They've abandoned the whole quartz technology. They've dropped it. They've dropped the baby and the bathwater, so to speak. So I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be honest with you. I honestly think you should stay the fuck away. They're a ticking time bomb. They're not really worth anything great. Collectors don't really like them. Could they be valuable? Well, anything could be valuable. I mean, I think if you had a collection of watches and you had one or two quartz, it's not the end of the world. But in my case, they were kind of leaking yucky, you know, they were kind of, they're a ticking time bomb I don't want to fucking own, okay? So personally, I would say stay the fuck away. That's honestly the best advice I could give you. Stay away from these legacy quartz. Because if only Patek had said, right, we've got this new Patek quartz movement, which we will retrofit if anyone's come through. But they haven't. They've abandoned it, right? Well, Patek actually says they will service everything, but they'll give you a fucking huge bill. Audemars Piguet is an example. Omega, I know Omega's saying they may not be able to fix certain things, like the X33 Speedmaster, you know, that really quartzy type fucking one. It's, honestly, I'm trying to be kind here. Stay the fuck away from them. That's the best advice I could give you. They are a ticking time bomb. In a perfect world, that'd be a great niche to have there, but unfortunately, yeah, stay away from them. Okay, so there you go, there, Eric. I've tried to give you the best advice I can. Yeah, stay the fuck away from them. So there you go, guys. That's the official Pontiff's ruling. Luxury quartz watches, stay the fuck away from them. Unless they're ladies. Ladies still love quartz. Yes, because ladies are lazy. They don't like to put a bit of effort in. They don't want to fiddle. They just want to wear the fucking thing. See, men like fiddly things because we like shit like that, see? And we get more valuable once we've got money and wisdom. Whereas ladies, they lose their value. They're like prawns. They go off badly, see? And this is why women don't really like watches and men do. Okay, guys, like, subscribe, tell your fuckhead friends. Remember, paid reviews keep me full-time on YouTube. $50 US. I'll review your collection. I'll answer a question. Tell me what you guys think of that.
Oh. Hey, Archie Luxury fans. If you're into luxury, then you got to be into 66 Buick Rivieras. Check out my son and I, Alex, as we restore this beautiful 66 Buick.
Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.
A sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think it's all angels just walk by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. So.